Hey friends, welcome back. In this video, I'm so happy to share with you my very favorite PLNs. You're going to find out I'm involved in a lot of groups by choice. And so if you're not a super involved person, you can pick one or pick a different one. But I'm so excited to help you get involved with like-minded educators, sharing your best ideas and getting their best ideas back. As a 16-year public educator, I know what it's like to be in the trenches. I know the frustration, the overwhelm, the discouragement, and the hard work. I also know the successes. The mission of my blog is simple: to help you find your more. More time, more from technology, more student engagement, and more hope. If you've never heard of a PLN or you don't even know if you're a member of one, you're in good company. I taught middle and high school for 11 years, and honestly, before I got out of my classroom and into the technology department, I didn't know what one was either. So two possible ways you can translate this acronym. One, you could say personal learning network, or another way to say it is a professional learning network. You don't have to be an educator to experience a PLN, but of course, that's going to be my realm, and I'm going to share some of my favorite PLNs in this video. Some benefits of having a PLN: number one, you get some professional, useful friends. I don't maybe want to use our friends. However, isn't it really cool that I know when I go to different technology conferences, I'm always going to have a group to meet up with for dinner, even if I'm there by myself. I've been to Boston, I've been to Portland, I've been to Denver, and every time I was able to find people that I had met through a social media or professional learning network, and I was able to meet up and do real life things with them. Also, it's a place to share what you know. I don't know about you, but I have sent emails to colleagues before like, hey, I came up with this great lesson idea, and crickets. It's like they probably don't have time or don't care what in the world you're doing in your classroom. But here's what's cool. If you get connected to a specific PLN where they're already passionate about, for example, Seesaw or BreakoutEDU, you share an idea in there and you're going to get a lot of response to it because you already have a warm audience. But it's also a great place to learn what you don't. In a few minutes, I'm going to talk about when I went to Pkwy last summer. I had no idea about how to build a computer or program it or do really anything with computer science, and I was able to go and really expose myself to something uncomfortable but rewarding. And then finally, a PLN is beneficial because it's constant, relevant, on-demand PD. It's not something that you are forced to sit and listen to. You can be in your pajamas, you can be anytime, anywhere, and you might come across the most brilliant idea of your career, as I did with BreakoutEDU at 1 o'clock in the morning one night. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes as well. So let's talk about my oldest and dearest PLN friend, and that's Common Sense. It's gone through some different iterations. When I first joined it, I joined the education side of it, which is what's called Graphite, and that name has now been retired. It's now called Common Sense Media and Common Sense Education. So let's talk about what it's for. One side of it, the Common Sense Media side, informs parents about the best apps and movies for their kids. Basically, any kind of media that you want your kids to engage with or they're asking to engage with, it gives real-world applications and also the dangers if that's something that is going to apply to that particular product. The other side of it, the education side, focuses a lot on digital citizenship. You'll see whole schools becoming Common Sense certified. It has really great lesson plans, and they've been revamping those in recent years. They integrate really well with Nearpod, but they've also got PDFs, so just check that out. But the other side of it gives teacher-created ratings and lesson plans for different technology applications. So I've previously been both a Common Sense educator and ambassador, and after I've moved to a different location, I kind of need to get back in the game. But if you will scan this code, it's going to take you to the Facebook page for Common Sense Education, which is where you can start your PLN experience and then find out if you want to go deeper with the program and apply to be either an educator or an ambassador. Oh, sweet raspberry pie. It sounds so delicious, doesn't it? Well, this group of educators that I've aligned in a PLN with is probably the one I'm most uncomfortable with, not because of them, but because I went to this Raspberry Pi event. It's called Pkwy. It's hosted at lots of different places every summer. And my friend Jim and I were accepted out of, I don't remember how many educators were there, but maybe 30-ish. To be able to attend it last summer. And what it is, Raspberry Pi is a foundation, but they put out a very inexpensive, it's maybe $30 to $40, tiny little computer brain. And this computer can be connected to your choice of monitor, but also can be programmed using a specific language. And what was so cool about it is we got to do a lot of computational thinking, a lot of critical thinking, a lot of brainstorming, a lot of experimenting with circuits that would connect to it, a lot of programming. So if you're someone who's like, Suzy, I have no idea about computer science, why I like it is because I think it's good to be uncomfortable, but also because think about the power of making computing more affordable for students. Their whole foundation's mission is, this affordable computing, but also the education to go with it. So if you will scan this code, it will take you to all the information about Raspberry Pi, their foundation, their resources. They have a magazine. You can start a coding club, but also it's going to give you information about Pi Academy, which is like that boot camp that I went to, and it would be a great thing for you to get accepted to as well. When I talk about the power of a PLN, nothing comes to my mind more than Twitter, but that is why I'm going to dedicate my own videos separately to Twitter. But BreakoutEDU is what I said was game-changing, almost career-changing when I found it maybe 5 years ago. I was on Twitter, it was late at night, and I found this amazing world of BreakoutEDU, which are these escape rooms that you do in your classroom. We can't lock kids in a classroom because that's obviously illegal. But instead, students are solving puzzles to get into a box. And what I love about this, so many things, and I could talk about this again on its own as a separate video, and I think I have. But what I love about BreakoutEDU is we're kind of conning them into persisting, which they don't enjoy doing, but also persisting with our content, revisiting content, trying to get the right answers. So I love BreakoutEDU because of all of those skills that it develops. And so what I'm linking you here to is their Facebook page. Y'all, there are like 20,000 members. If there's any question you have about BreakoutEDU, even if it's something like, hey, I am trying to solve this puzzle, I cannot figure it out and I'm the adult, or I've jammed my lock, what can I do? Or all these games that have not been published on the actual site but have been created by users, or you might say, hey, I need a Star Wars game, can you find one of those for me? Whatever it is, this group of educators is so responsive, and that's what makes a PLN so powerful. So if you'll scan that code, you'll go to their Facebook page, and that's going to take you to the general one, but there are also several breakout, I didn't mean to say that, but that was punny. There are several subgroups on Facebook also for different subject areas, so you'll be able to find that information there as well. Do you guys love Seesaw or what? I love it. For little kids, I think it's the most obvious, especially if they're using iPads. I think it was created to be more of a touch-friendly, but Seesaw is this tool that is like what I call a digital refrigerator. All that work that parents would usually have to clutter up their refrigerator with, or the kids would lose before they got home, now parents can see it straight on their phone and they can give their kids feedback on it. And there are 6 basic functions. I won't list all of them here, but basically you can have kids label on a photo, take a photo, draw on one, record. You can share a link with them, so many things. And then there are also, as of the last year or so, there are these things called activities where you can send your kids digital manipulatives. So I'm sure most of you have heard of Seesaw, but the reason I like it is, again, for the little kids, it's so accessible, and I love the features that allow them to annotate on top of something. But for older kids, I love that you can take a link from Seesaw and share it into Google Classroom or Canvas or Office 365, like a more, what I would say, I guess, grown-up platform. But you're still getting to use all those cool tools. So Seesaw has a group called Seesaw Ambassadors. I've been one of those for several years. I love about their program that they are very strategic. They do trainings where you're actually required to view the training, so you know that what you're doing is making a difference because you're getting those cutting edge kind of tips and tricks before they're released to the public. I also like about it that they send you swag. So if you train other people about their product, then they send you like a t-shirt or things like that. And I just feel like it's a very welcoming and also very active community. So if you're not a member of any PLN, Seesaw might be a great one to start with. Scan this code. This is going to take you to their Facebook page. So if Twitter for me was like the mecca of finding PLNs, MIEE has been the mecca of my PLN, expertise or groups that I've joined. So I saved this one for last because it's my favorite. Now I know that I came from a little Microsoft district in a big Google world, but even if you're in Google world, I love MIEE so much that I think it's worth pursuing. I'm now in a Google school, so I might pursue, maybe their Google Innovator type deal. But right now I want to talk to you about MIEE, and I've put the first E and then the second one in parentheses. So first of all, you become a Microsoft Innovative Educator, and then after you do that, you can become an MIEE, which adds the expert to your title. It is an application-based program, but basically it's people who work with Microsoft products, want to find out more about them, love sharing them, love creating innovative lessons with them, and I definitely am a big fan of what Microsoft is doing. I do believe they came to the game a little later than Google, but I believe they've been so responsive and they've made so many aspects of what they do free for educators. So if you want one that has lots of benefits, again, this is not one where they'll necessarily send you swag. They do occasionally, but this is one that I think is a great resume builder. I also have been able to travel with them. They have a great travel program, and we have a group me that just any question you can ask, like you can't figure out forms or OneNote's having an issue or whatever, you can pop that question in the chat and you get so many responses. So this is, again, one of my favorites. I've been engaged with them for now. This is my 4th year. I've been all kinds of places courtesy of Microsoft, and all I'm doing is sharing their product. So this one is going to link you not to their Facebook page, but actually to the Microsoft Educator Network, where you can find out how to apply, how to first of all get your MIE, but then how to apply to become an MIEE, again, which is a selection process. If you need any questions about this one, I can send you my sample application. I'm happy to do whatever I can to help bring you into this PLN because I love it that much. Check it out. If there's a tool or product you love and I didn't mention their PLN here, go on Twitter and search it. I bet you can find a group to get connected with. They would love to hear from you, and they would love for you to share their product and ask questions. Hope this helps. Hey guys, I put my heart into these videos, so I hope you loved it. I hope you've loved all of them, but if you haven't, then make sure you go back and watch the previous videos. I'm making playlists for you all the time. So if you're somebody who wants time savers, there's a playlist for that. If you want to gamify, playlist for that. And all of my themes of my blog. So, did you like it? Go ahead and click the thumb below. If you really liked it, I'd love if you shared it on your favorite social media channel. I'm at Suzy Lolley on Twitter. And then finally, my very favorite is if you subscribe. Subscribe to YouTube and subscribe on the blog. Take care.